What's up guys, it's Sloth here, and today we have another announcement from Hi-Rez regarding Season 6 that we're going to talk about. Now, in this context, I quickly want to mention that this video will be a little bit rough around the edges in terms of audio quality as well. That is because it is very late in the night, and I've already made another video that's coming up tomorrow, which has some restriction at the moment. I can't publish that information yet, so it will go out tomorrow at 11 a.m. NA time, or Atlanta time, in the morning, when that restriction is lifted. And this is the other video I'm making today, so this is the one talking about the changes that we know about already. The other one is about the changes tomorrow. Again, still in Atlanta for those of you who don't know, so the quality is going to suffer a little bit. So sorry about that. I am trying my best to give you all the information as quickly as possible still and discuss it with you. And that's what we're going to do with this very information right here. And this one is very interesting for me personally. So this is about Season 6 changes, but for Project Olympus. Now, Project Olympus is Hi-Rez's ongoing process of improving the game in a way, making it better in some ways, making it more smooth, making it more accessible. And yeah, we're seeing the new steps for that, and those ones are really exciting. So Isaiah posted this just an hour ago, and we're just going to go through it and discuss the changes, much like we did yesterday. Season 6 Project Olympus announcements. Let's talk about the awesome plans we have for Season 6. We're still a few months out and have lots of planning to do. This means that things are subject to change, but we'll do our best to meet our goals below. Here's what we have planned to roll out throughout Season 6. The Olympians. Currently, Smite Pros are able to directly contact us about concerns via a Discord system we have set up. However, we want to be able to get more feedback from the community. We are working on a new way of gathering feedback from our community, and we are confident that this new system will improve communications between our studio and our players. We'll provide more information about what this entails during this year's HRX, and we can't wait to start working with you. This one is interesting, and I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work. They say it's going to be a new way of gathering feedback, and the fact that it's called the Olympians gives me the impression that not everyone will participate. I feel like you gotta become an Olympian somehow, maybe provide useful feedback in some way at multiple occasions, and that way kind of, build a reputation, and then if you build that reputation, then your voice can be heard more, you have more of an influence. I'm not sure, just a wild guess here really based on the name and how it may work. So I think this is good, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to figure out who's really qualified to have an input here. I've seen a lot of feedback on Smite, and often I see good things. I see creative input. I see good ideas that may or may not be possible, but are at least nice to have heard about. But I also see a lot of strange feedback, a lot of feedback from players that are very inexperienced in certain parts of the game and think that despite not really having any experience or having done any numbers, they basically should have a major impact in terms of how changes should go. Like, for example, people saying that Anubis is completely broken and should basically be removed from the game. And obviously you don't want to have those people providing all too much feedback. So it's going to be hard to really get a good level of feedback if it's individuals, but maybe it's a completely different system. Maybe it's more a feedback system in the game. We'll find out, and I'm looking forward to it because I think having more input is generally good, and I see so much stuff in my comment section that I think, would be worth seeing for Hi-Rez, and even I can't transfer that all over because sometimes I miss out on stuff. The next one is Role Queue. Role Queue will be coming to Smite. Before queuing a Conquest match, players can specify a primary and secondary role or fill. When players enter the lobby, the game will automatically designate roles to all 5 players based on their preference. You won't always get your role, but the system should make a huge difference in how roles are chosen by players. Now, this is not quite the same as League of Legends role queue as far as I know, because in League of Legends you queue as a role and a secondary role, and I think you get them. The system waits until basically there is a game where you will get your role. You don't have the same guarantee here, so to speak, as far as I know anyways. And I think that's okay because the reason why this works with League of Legends is the massive player base, and Smite simply doesn't have the same amount of players. So occasionally not being able to get your role is something that I think is fine. The question is really how well tolerant the system here is. Like for me, for example, I'm relatively quick with calling my role, so most of the time I get my role, and most of the time that is jungle. For me, it might actually have downsides to more often end up with a secondary role that I don't really want to play, especially if I need footage for a specific video. And yeah, I don't think there will be much of a way to discuss picks afterwards anymore as well, because yeah, they're kind of established by this role queue. So yeah, I'm not completely like 100% sure about how well this will work out. It really depends on how often you end up with the role you wanted and how often you won't. But when that's, established, then we'll see. It might go well. Something, that may need some adjustment in the future as well. The next one is clans. We acknowledge that clans need to be revisited. Big whoop. This year, a couple of big projects took priority, announcing tomorrow. We want to continue to reward players who play games with their clanmates. And later in Season 6, we are planning to implement an improved clan system to provide better rewards for using teamwork to make the dream work. Now, I like that, obviously, because I really enjoyed the clan system. But I am a bit skeptical about what exactly they're going to do, because they're saying better rewards for using teamwork, and that may sound like you can't really farm as much stuff on your own in terms of the clan. Better rewards is also relative. It might, it might be boosters at the end of the day. It's still better than nothing, so better really doesn't say much. I personally would love more shadow skins because I think those are absolutely fantastic. Those are some of my favorite skins in the game, and I love the style so much that I wish like every god just had a shadow skin. And I know that Hi-Rez had at some point said that they don't really want to make them anymore, from what I understood. So I kind of hope that brings some more of those back. That would be the really cool part for me personally. And now for not the biggest change for everyone, but the biggest change for me. Streamer mode. Our content creators do a lot for the community, and we want to ensure that while they're streaming live to their audience, that they're able to still participate in fair matchmaking. To create a more fair matchmaking for our content creators, we are planning to add a new feature, Stream Mode, that will alleviate stream sniping by having player names not be displayed. This is great. I've talked about this before. I'm actually not sure where I mentioned this, if it was on YouTube or on Twitter, but I've talked about this. I thought it would be really cool to have a way to hide player names and therefore not have this, constant people trying to get their name out by sniping. Like having it in the game. If you remove the names from the game and hopefully also like the chat names and just replace them with the gods, that will no longer be an issue. You just have the god names and no, like, okay, people may still snipe you just to bother you, but it's just gonna bother you a lot less when you just see their god names. They're not gonna get much out of it because you're just seeing their god names. I think that would be great. I hope it also comes ideally with a way to hide your own player name in the lobby and everything, because then content creators could change their names and therefore prevent getting sniped even more. So there's a lot of ways to utilize this, but either way, I think it's a great feature. I've been talking about this like something that I think that not only Smite would benefit from, but also like a lot of other games with like stream sniping being more of a topic. And I'm really happy this coming to Smite, and Smite is one of the first ones to really take this step and really establish that. So I'm 100% happy, and honestly, it may just make me stream again. And then next, we have recommended items updating for new players. When playing Smite as a new player, we encourage users to get a feel for the game before diving into the world of items. Hey, that's my channel. We created the recommended items page to help assist players in this process. However, it limits players to one build for each game. We are updating this page to be more accessible. Now we'll be adding more diverse builds while also enhancing what already exists. Again, Also a very good change, having more flexibility in the build, so somebody can be a little bit more tanky, a little bit more damage oriented, for example, and maybe different, situational items, counter items. Maybe that's something that can be brought into this. And obviously, it's never going to be as good as somebody who has fully understood builds and like builds according to every single situation. But at the same time, it will be a lot better, or it can definitely be a lot better than it is right now, which is, it's just a bit too, I would say, too unflexible of a system, and changing that up, I think, is a good idea. Updates notes in the client. All of the updates coming to Smite will be in a place you already go. The game. Also nice. I always find it a bit annoying that you have to look in other places. And it also will make sure that people keep up with the changes more. They will realize, oh, there were patch notes, and they will see them and go over them quickly. So, good changes again. Assault visual upgrade. We have been upgrading our maps in Smite throughout our previous seasons, and our next on the list will be Assault. The Assault map is going to be influenced by a god that has yet to debut on the battleground. Well, this is interesting. We don't really know much about this at all. So Assault is coming now after Arena this year, and apparently with a new god. Cool. We'll see what that is. And I wonder kind of if it's the only change, if this is what's going to be there to be at the end of the year, or if they're planning to do that middle of the year and then plan to overhaul another map, but we'll find out about that. And then last but not least, skins for more gods. Everyone loves expressing themselves and personalizing their favorite gods. Smite is not only free to play, it does not have pay for power features. Skins are how we support the game, and nearly 100 developers pouring their talent and passion into the game and community. We love. Thank you. We will continue to make skins for the most popular gods, which makes sense from a financial perspective, to be honest. We want to ensure that players have opportunities to alter their appearances in-game for more obscure picks, so we're working towards sprinkling more skins for some less popular gods too. Shang-Kui is still coming in December, and we have another surprise later this year. We can't wait to reveal a few more announcements during Hi-Rez Presents. Titan Rio will be presenting. Don't be too hard on him. I'm not sure where that's coming from. I think Titan Rio is someone who can handle feedback, even if it's a bit more hard. But what I think is really cool here is that they say they want to focus a little bit more on not just the popular gods. And I've actually talked to some people today, and it kind of left me the impression that they have also either seen the Reddit, but I kind of specifically mentioned that they watched the video that I made about the skins, the skin rant. So they've looked at the gods that don't really get that much attention, and those gods are, being focused on. So that is something that makes me very happy, obviously. And if you're somebody who plays niche gods or low skin gods, that should probably make you happy too. I have a feeling that this might be maybe the surprise might be Hunbat skin. Who knows? Well, at least one of the other ones. So yeah, I think this is very cool. I think this is something a lot of people are asking for, and I also think that even though it obviously makes sense to release those skins for the popular gods, it's still going to be profitable for Hi-Rez to also release skins for the not so popular gods, as they will, be bought more in comparison than the skins for a god that already has 10 skins. At some point, that's just a bit of oversaturation. So yeah, this is what we have here in this update. I think it's some really cool stuff. I have very little to complain about here, and I'm very excited. You will hear more tomorrow at 11 a.m. Atlanta time. And you will also hear more tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. ET on mixer.com/smitegame, which will be, I'm assuming it's on Twitch as well, which will be the update for Season 6, the big video with everything that's going to happen around that. So you can look forward to that too. I am going to drop into bed because I am incredibly tired, and I thank you very much for watching. See you for the next one tomorrow, bright and early, basically. If you're new to the channel, feel free to sub button with the bell. It really helps me out. Duke Sloth, out.